So,
Sure.
so, so help me understand. You touched upon a very important point. You are saying that there is massive potential in this space, okay?
100%. 100%.
And still, that the positions the investors have taken in the past, and we just heard about the write-off for InfoEdge and many new players. So what's happening? Why are some, if there is massive potential, why is not everybody able to succeed?
So if I put it in one single word, okay, it's greed.
Okay.
It's greed. Okay. It's very difficult to resist greed in real estate.
Hi, I'm Ravi, founder of PropTech Buzz, a podcast channel where we talk to PropTech founders and CEOs from all over the world and learn from them how they build and manage successful PropTech companies. This week, two pieces of news in PropTech from India made headlines, and not for the right reasons. One was about InfoEdge writing off 288 crores of Rahul Yadav's 4B networks, and then Nestaway going into a distress acquisition for $11 million when it was once valued at $225 million. While some companies in the US in the recent weeks have achieved unicorn status, there are startups in India that are floundering, especially when the whole world sees massive potential in Indian PropTech space. In all the conversation that I have with the founders and the VCs, both sides of the table, everybody says there is massive potential to be unlocked in India in the coming years and decades. If that is the case, why are PropTech startups floundering? And why do we hear time and again news such as this making headlines? I'm gonna play clippings from two PropTech founders who are very well respected and who have built large and profitable PropTech companies in India. Tanuj Shori, CEO of Square Yards, Ashish Agarwal, CEO of Property Pistols. So this was not in the context of this news, but they had shared briefly during my conversation with them on my podcast. I'm going to play the clippings where they share about the challenges of Indian PropTech ecosystem.
Real estate, definitely the market is huge, right? Market industry size, there's no two ways about it, that there's lot of business in real estate. Okay, whether it is services, whether it is you know products, whether it is development, whatever, it's a huge industry size, lot of business to be done. So that way it's a very lucrative space.
Hmm.
But if I talk about from the investors point of view, investors have taken big positions in the past in real estate, in this space, services space. There are a lot of companies who have raised big funds, but unfortunately, people have not made money in real estate. So investors, as I the in my fundraise journey, I could sense that investors are currently looking at grade solid grade companies, and where that's where Property Pistol fitted their scheme of things, because one is the type of the DNA of the people, right? We me, Tushar, we are both ITs. We have good experience in real estate, startups, technology, business. That was one important thing. Second is, of course, as I said, value system. Third is our track record of last 10 years in terms of bootstrap, scaling up. So all of those came as a delight to the investors, and they really liked the way the company has grown, the strong ethics that we have maintained, the financial frugalness which we have shown displayed, and all of that came as a fresh whip of air for the investors, and they liked our company, and we were pretty fortunate to have great investors like ICICI Bank and Bearings P Fund who have backed us. And during our dealings with the investors, we are pretty delighted and excited about getting them on board, the type of people they are and the type of companies they back. So we are pretty excited that we have such high quality investors on our cap table now. And overall, I think as an industry, it's very easy to get swayed. It's very easy, it's very easy to chase big money, and then people are sometimes caught between the money which is reflecting in the books, in the ledgers, and the money which is actually coming into the account. So
So help me understand. You touched upon a very important point. You are saying that there is massive potential in this space. Okay.
100%, 100%.
And still, that the positions the investors have taken in the past, and we just heard about the write-off for InfoEdge and many new players. So what's happening? Why are some, if there is massive potential, why is not everybody able to succeed?
So if I put it in one single word, okay, it's greed.
Money instead of
Greed is to you know greed is to go after opportunities which looks lucrative, but which may not be lucrative in terms of actual when it translates into real business,
Hmm.
right? I feel that you have to tread carefully in this industry. It's very easy to make mistakes for a developer. It's very easy to make mistakes for a broker,
Hmm.
because you have to look at various aspects of any situation. If there is an opportunity, you have to look at from a broker's perspective, from a brokerage company's perspective. There are a number of things we have to look at. You have to look at the credibility of the developer. You have to look at the experience a customer is going to get with the developer. You have to look at what is in it for you, right? You have to look at what is in it from you, not just on papers, but actually which translates into a real business, which means cash collected at the end of the business,
Right.
right? So all of that. So there are so many aspects, chasing valuations without any business. That's
Hmm.
another greed, right?
Yeah.
Chasing valuations without a business. A promoter definitely knows, what's going to be the fate of the company 5 years down the line.
Right.
So whatever you tell an investor, a promoter definitely knows what's going to be the fate. So
Right.
if people are greedy for chasing valuations and making fool of investors, so everybody is going to be in a situation, right?
Okay.
So I think greed is a single word which I can use to summarize what is going wrong in the industry. And it's
So
very difficult to control that greed. And I think we are not greedy people. We are here to create a strong, sustainable, and incredible value for all the stakeholders in the industry, whether it is a developer, whether we have to reduce the cost of sale to a developer, we are committed to that. Whether we have to increase the earnings of a broker, we are committed to that. We are committed to a buyer's quest of getting a targeted house. And why we call ourselves property pistol is because we want to target the right choice, the right inventory for the buyer in shortest possible time.
hmm.
So we are out to create a win-win model. And of course, we have to make money for the company. So we are out to create a win-win model for everybody, every stakeholder in the space. So I think that's one important differentiator of Property Pistol. And we are not greedy.
Right. So I'm sure there are many young entrepreneurs on the prop tech space who would be listening to this. What would be your advice to them once they're venturing into this space? Like what would be a couple of very direct advice that you think they should stick to?
So, I cannot compare my own self with the others, because everybody has a different mindset, everybody has
Correct.
a different way of thinking,
Yeah, but
different.
fundamentals are the same, no? Okay.
Yeah,
The
so
tactics.
fundamentally, any business, not just in real estate, we have to look at our costs and profits. That is one important thing. And second, definitely your experience of your stakeholders, whether it is your buyer, whether it is your developer, whether it is your employee. So I think that is important, to keep experience of your stakeholder and investors now. And you have to take care of the experience these stakeholders get with you, your business. So I think that is one important thing which we always have to be sensitive about, always have to be receptive about, always have to be aware about, right? So I think that is one. And of course, The other basic things are intent, vision, hard work,
Hard work, yes. Right.
perseverance, not
Perse-
losing sight,
yeah,
right? So
perseverance.
all of that.
Perseverance for a long-term gain, right? It should not be, as you said, valuation is usually you get into the valuation loop when you are a short-term focus to exit, isn't it? So it's a long-term. You have to
Yeah,
believe.
and, definitely. And of course, God has to support. Always, you have to be. And I think if your intent is right, you find a lot of support from all the quarters.
Got it. Got it. Excellent. By the way, so when you are offering this full stack services, and you said that most of the other players are only are operating in search and discovery. Why is it so? Because I'm sure they are all also not newbies in the market, right? So is this something that you have a secret sauce that you have cracked that others cannot?
Uh,
Or is there a challenge there that?
it is not easy to build a full stack. Let me be very candid, and trying to be humble about it. It's very difficult. We believe one of the most difficult models to build across asset classes globally is to build a full stack home consumer journey platform. The reason why I say that it is one of the most difficult is very few players globally have been able to do that. You can actually count on your fingers, less than 10. And pretty much everyone wants to do that.
Hmm.
So every single search and discovery play wants to become a full stack. They have tried becoming a full stack. They have invested significant amount of capital in trying to becoming a full stack. They have not been able to become a full stack. The challenge is it is very different. Effectively, you're running 5 organizations together. You're trying to build 5. You're trying to solve for 5 categories at same point in time. So invariably, unless and in all these categories, these are very fragmented categories. Every category has a localized category player, which is very strong. So for you be able to be effective, you de facto need to become a market leader in all these categories. So we are saying you need to build 5 organizations in very fragmented markets, and you need to become category leaders in all these categories at the same point in time parallelly and tie them together.
Because you're competing with a local player who might have much more experience and has stronghold locally, and competing with them becomes a challenge. So what worked in your favor? So it was hard. So you do not, maybe you do not want to reveal your secret sauce, but still, what went in your favor? What are the things that you did well where you are able to crack it gradually?
So, it's been hard, definitely very hard. It continues to be hard. Even though we are the market leaders, yet I don't think we have still solved for it yet. Our market share in all these categories is probably 1 to 2%. Even though we are the market leaders, 1 to 2% doesn't give us any room for comfort. We should be double-digit market share. So there's still a long way to go. That's a caveat. What worked? A, right place at the right time. B, perseverance. We realized very early where we wanted to be. I think most of the global players have started talking about full stack in the last 3 years.
Mm,
We were talking about a full stack ecosystem in 2015,
mm,
when no one wanted to become a full stack at that point in time.
right.
And C, very strong founding and management team. So we believe that has been one of the moats we bring to the table. There are 20 co-founders now. There's been a very stable team. No people have been with us for more than 7 years on an average. All of these people, they are experts in building these various category leadership businesses. The mandate to each one of them is the focus for individually themselves is to build a category leading business.
Mm.
And all of us need to come together end of the day to ensure that all threads are tied up to each other. But this management team has been one of our biggest exponential relative success stories over any other player in the market.